This is Get Real with Bob and Stacy, the show that helps you learn about the mortgage and real estate markets. Get the inside scoop from their expert list of guests and have some fun along the way. Now, here's Bob Gallagher and Stacy Alcorn.
Welcome back. You're listening to Get Real with Bob and Stacy. I'm your host, Bob Gallagher, joined in studio today by my co-host, Sarah Baer, also with Ross Mortgage. Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
And our very special guest, Mary O'Hagan with Keller Williams in Bolton, Mass. Welcome to the show, Mary.
Thanks, Bob. Good to be here.
So we asked you to join us today so we could talk about what's going on in the market. And you cover pretty much everything from Boston to Worcester, north and south, so more or less Massachusetts.
Yeah. You could say that.
Yeah.
I won't do the South Shore.
Yeah, there you go. It's a long drive to the South Shore.
Or the Berkshires.
Yeah, I'm not going there either.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm your girl.
So like 3/4 of the state you got covered.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So why don't we talk about inventory in, your area, which is, sort of Bolton and then kind of expanding out.
Yeah.
What are you seeing right now for the market?
So it is still a seller's market because there's not a lot of inventory right now.
Right.
So coming into the springtime, I'm hoping to see more houses on the market.
Yeah.
Pros and cons of that are there will be more houses, but spring is when everything heats up.
So everybody's going
to be wanting those houses that are coming on. So it will be competitive.
Right. So
I'm
best
already
advice
seeing
is
that,
maybe don't even wait till spring. Maybe go out and buy right now.
People don't think so, but February, March, that's a good time to be out there.
Yeah. Pretty much any day you decide to buy a house is a good day. Don't wait.
That's right. That's what I'll tell you as a real estate specialist.
Whenever
Any
you're
day's
ready
a good day.
whenever you're ready to look, that's the time to go out and buy.
Yeah, I'll go with that, Bob.
Yeah. Well, you would say, there's advantages, right, to buying in the winter.
There are advantages and disadvantages all times of the year.
Yeah.
So right around the holidays where people aren't looking, if you put your home on the market, you're going to get real serious buyers.
Right.
Because anybody who's looking at that time of year, they need to buy. They're not, kicking tires. They're not.
Yeah, they don't have time to waste. All the stuff you got to do on holidays. If
they're out in the dead of winter looking, they're serious.
Yeah, excellent. So why don't we talk about what first-time buyers are buying right now? Because we hear a lot from people all over the state that with prices going up the way they have been, it's gotten a little tougher for first-time buyers, and we've certainly seen that in most areas of the state. It's a little better when you go west, but getting anywhere near 495, the prospect of buying a house in the 250 range just doesn't even seem like it's a remote possibility.
It's not happening. So first-time buyers, I'd say, go west.
Yes.
West is best.
Yeah. The lower your budget, the further you drive, basically.
That's
is what it
pretty
comes
much
down to.
how it's going.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's disappointing. So that's part of my job is to help people with their expectations and try to educate them about what to expect from the market.
Yeah.
Because people get excited. They have the money. They're ready to go. And they don't realize just how high prices are now.
That's true, too. When you think about, for those of us that have been in the business, like, Mary and myself and even Sarah for, just a few years, because we're still in our early 30s, late 20s.
That's what I love about radio, Bob. Loving the radio.
Yeah. So I can remember when a $300,000 budget was a big house.
Yeah.
And now,
absolutely,
I don't think you can buy anything for 495 East.
Yeah. Again, go west.
Yeah.
Once you hit maybe Lancaster, Lunenburg, Sterling. And the Worcester area is a great place to buy right now.
Yes.
So
we were talking about that earlier.
Priced.
Yeah. Worcester is becoming a city in its own right. The restaurant scene, the jobs,
Worcester is up and coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah and I were talking about that.
Yeah, we love Worcester.
Yeah.
It's great for, the biomedical that are coming into the area. And, the hospitals and the WooSox.
And the WooSox.
Yeah.
And you have how many colleges? 6 or 7?
9 or 11, I think. I've lost track now. I think it's 9.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right. And the food and the art and everything that's going on. So Worcester's happening right now.
Yep.
It's a good place to invest.
And it's good to see like the kids that are coming out of college actually thinking about staying there now because there's jobs. Going to school in Worcester and then getting a job in Boston, where even if you're starting out at 40 or 50,000, you can't afford rent without two roommates in a micro loft.
It's becoming like New York City.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I knew a kid years ago. This is like 6 or 7 years ago that was paying $1,600 for a studio with no stove in Brighton.
Oh my, yeah.
I can't even imagine what that's going for today.
Yeah, well, when I was in grad school, I lived in Jamaica Plain. Mm-hmm. It was this old building, beautiful woodworking, but not in the best section and very affordable at the time. Well, now those places are going for $1 million plus.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I think you're going to see the same kind of appreciation in Worcester. Like right now, you can actually buy a house for $250 in Worcester.
You can.
Yes.
That's in halfway decent shape, at least.
Yeah, it's doable.
It's one of the few places left where you can do that.
Right. I would say Worcester and the surrounding towns.
Yeah.
That's the place to be looking, particularly for first-time buyers.
Yes. Yeah. Now that you have nightlife, jobs, and everything else, why not?
Yeah.
And hopefully they'll work on the train soon, because riding the train in from Worcester is
I heard that.
great. Yeah.
I heard that. I heard you know somebody that did not care for that.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I actually know somebody that still takes the train from Worcester,
Yeah.
and he also wishes they would fix it.
Yeah.
Because when they were doing the express train, when the train didn't break down, you could get from Worcester to Boston in like an hour and 15 minutes.
Right, and
That's
you
not
can do
bad.
work on the way in. It
Yeah.
has Wi-Fi. I mean, that is the way to go.
But when you start pushing an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours to get in, I couldn't do that every
Yeah,
day.
it's brutal.
No.
Yeah. Although I also wouldn't want to spend 3 hours driving in and out each way. So
I know lots
guess
of
you
people
pick your
who do
poison.
that. So you're in luck if you can work out of your home.
yes. Or if you find a job in Worcester in the up and coming areas.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
I
right.
think Chronicle some show did a piece on Worcester.
Yeah,
They
it was
showed-
Chronicle.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Chronicle. They had a buyer that was looking to spend, $500 somewhere in Boston, and they couldn't touch anything they wanted.
No.
Out here, they spent $250 and got the Taj Mahal.
Absolutely.
Maybe it was $280, but it was under $300,000. So.
Absolutely. Actually, Bob, that $500,000 range, there's nothing in that range. It's hard to find
Yeah.
properties in that range.
Yeah, or at least that are
They're-
habitable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like you said, you can get the Taj Mahal in Worcester, but the closer you get to Boston,
Yeah.
it's slim pickings.
Yeah, and being a landlord to get into the market out there isn't like if you're a first time buyer and you can't possibly qualify for a condo or single.
Right.
Up until a few years ago, the way in was buying a multi and using the rent to subsidize your payment. Now you're competing with all the people that want to buy it as an investment, turn it into condos, and resell them for a profit.
Exactly. Yeah, that doesn't happen. That's not something that's doable anymore.
No. So if you're looking to invest, maybe Worcester's a good place to start doing that.
I'm thinking about it myself.
Yeah, you can still get a multi in Worcester that's in halfway decent shape for the mid threes
You can. Yeah.
versus
Absolutely.
$1 million if you go into Boston. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd rather have 3 of them out here than 1 in Boston.
Right. Even the 128 area. I mean, you just have
Yeah.
to keep moving.
West.
Move back. Move west, young
Yes.
man, young woman.
Yeah, so one could argue that Metro West is really the nexus of the universe right
Yeah.
now. It's where you want to be.
Sure.
One could argue that. I didn't say we'd win the argument. So why don't we talk about, we talked a little bit about the market. How about buyers' expectations and sellers' expectations? One of the things we talked about before we started today was how misleading it is for all these websites where you can go on and look at houses. They post the payments based on perfect credit, 20% down, no mortgage insurance.
Right. You
So-
get on those mortgage calculators.
Yeah.
You think you can afford, again, Taj Mahal.
Yeah, they're showing
And
$300,000
it's
houses.
misleading.
Yeah.
It's misleading, and basically the lenders really just want you to give them a call so they can talk
Yes.
to you about it. But there's so much more involved,
Yes.
depending on what your down payment is, if you're going to pay PMI or not.
Yeah.
And a lot of young kids, they're paying for their college. They don't have a huge down payment.
No,
So-
most of them don't. It's rare. Mm-hmm. A lot of people that aren't able to buy unless the parents help them get rid of the student loans. I mean, I've got people that have student loans like upwards of $1,200-1,500 a month.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making a mortgage payment for their student loans. It's
Yep.
crazy.
Exactly. So that's why a lot of them are renting,
Right.
which is too bad because then you're just kind of throwing your money to nothing. You're not
That's
building
true.
any equity.
That's true.
And it's frustrating for them.
And when you look at what we pay for rent now, there's no good deals left for rent.
No.
I mean, I would say out in even the Worcester market, you're getting, $1,200 a month for a 3-bedroom or
If that, yeah. I mean,
sometimes less.
Even around Worcester, it's starting to creep up.
Yeah. I mean, I remember back you used to be able to rent something for $800 a month, but you can't anymore.
Oh, No, I think I think I did rent something for $800 a month.
Yeah, and it was probably pretty nice at the time.
It was.
Yeah.
Even though I'm in my 20s, like you said.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a few years ago, rents were much cheaper.
A couple of years back. Yeah.
Yeah. So the moral of the story is don't wait to buy. I get that a lot too. Do you hear that, Mary? People say, "Oh, it's gotten so expensive. I'm just going to wait," because they think that's going to somehow save them money.
It's just going to get worse.
Yeah.
You really need to talk to mortgage lenders like yourselves
Yeah.
to figure out what you can afford, what makes sense for you, because you need to build that equity. You don't want to be renting forever and throwing your money out the window.
Right. Why don't we talk to our own mortgage nerd here, Sarah Bear? Sarah, why don't you kind of walk us through what you do with your first-time buyers, kind of prepping them for what they're in for?
Yeah, first-time home buyers, they come into the process really with high expectations because they are looking at these online calculators, and they think that they can afford a home that's $300,000, $400,000.
Right.
But they have a certain budget. So what I like to do is really, it's about the financial perspective and the personal perspective, and try to figure out what their budget can hold.
Right.
If that's $1,500 or $2,000, let's work backwards. And that's what I'm doing a lot of the times, is looking at their monthly budget and then working backwards to let them know how much their monthly budget would accommodate for the purchase price.
Yeah.
Lots of great first-time home buyer programs out there now too.
Yes.
So somebody with student loans or doesn't have a huge amount of down payment, we can still get them into really great quality loan products that that will fit their budget.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And going back, a few years before things really started heating up, probably more than a few years if I'm being honest, but before things really heated up, the conversation when you were talking to a first-time buyer, really any buyer, was, you qualify for X, but you shouldn't go out and spend X just because on paper it works, because it may not fit your lifestyle, and you don't want to be house poor.
Right. I think to Sarah's point, you really got to figure out what your budget is, what you want your monthly payments to be, because that, when you're looking to buy your first house, you get all excited. You're not thinking about, okay, day to day, month to month, what can I afford? Right.
So now the conversation's kind of switching from, because I've been having this a lot lately myself, people that, their comfort range for a payment is not going to, I don't even know how they'd find something to rent at that price.
Yeah.
Right.
It's certainly not going to get them a house anywhere in other towns they're looking in. So then it becomes a discussion of, well, instead of taking the extra money you saved for down payment, applying that to getting rid of some of your other debt, so we can improve your monthly outlay so you can afford the bigger house without stressing yourself out.
Which, Bob, is a really creative and useful technique. And when buyers hear that and they actually look at that monthly profile, they're shocked,
right?
Because there is, if they've allocated, say, 10% for their down payment, let's look at the option of, say, putting down 5% and allocating those funds to pay some student loans or pay the credit cards that you've had to use to ride the train to Boston.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Or getting rid of a car payment. That's a big one.
Yep.
Yeah.
Putting down less, getting rid of a car payment, putting down an extra $20,000 on a purchase is going to save you $100. Paying off your $20,000 car loan could save you $500.
Yes.
Exactly. Again, back to the month to month.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so it's really important to look at all your options. And if you're out there and you're listening right now and you're thinking, you know what, maybe I need some help from the mortgage nerd, you definitely want to give her a call.
Sarah's your girl.
Yeah, you can look her up right online, rossmortgagco.com. And then, Mary, while I'm thinking about it, I want to give out your contact info too. So if you're looking to buy or sell really anywhere in central and eastern Mass, you want to give Mary O'Hagan a call. She was with Keller Williams in Bolton, but again, covers pretty much all of Massachusetts. You can reach her at 978-302-9640. Again, it's 978-302-9640. One of the other things we kind of talked about before we got started today was affordability. Used to be that you could buy a multi to get in, and we kind of touched on that today. What are you seeing in terms of affordability, condos versus single families? Are you seeing more people turning towards condos because they can actually afford them, or with the condo fees, does it kind of price them out?
What I'm seeing is that in that $500,000 range that we
Yeah.
talked about before, you can either get the condo
Yeah.
or you're going to find something that needs a lot of fixing up.
If you go for a single.
A single family home. So unless you're somebody who's really good at the renos, or you're a flipper or an investor, you don't really have the time to do that. So people
Right.
are trending toward condos. And then again, with a condo, you don't have the exterior maintenance, the plowing, which, is
No
important
shoveling.
on days like today.
Yeah.
I'm in my big winter boots. So there are advantages to that if
Right.
you're in that particular price range in particular.
Right. And then what about towns around here where you're going to see the most bang for the buck? Around Metro West or even in Central Mass. Fitchburg, Ashburnham, are you kind of seeing people go that way, or are they sticking on Route 2 and going further west?
Probably, I would say Lancaster, Lunenburg.
Because those still have good highway access, at least.
They do. That's part of the allure. And then
Yeah.
you can also go to Boylston, West Boylston. Even I help some people get into Sutton. That's
Yes.
a really nice town. It's
Yeah.
right near
Beautiful.
Worcester. It's near the Pike. It's near 290. So these are some more affordable places
Yeah.
to go.
So there's still places left where you can get a decent house for decent money.
Yes,
It's just
there are.
Probably
Just-
not going to be east of 495.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What about new construction? Are you seeing a lot of that?
I'm seeing it more on the higher end.
Yeah.
And what I'm told by builders is that it is so cost prohibitive right now for them that the only way they're going to make money is if they do a higher end home.
Right. Yeah, with all the
So
expenses
there's no.
involved,
That's why
yeah.
again there's this middle ground that there's not a whole lot of inventory, if any.
Right.
You're not going to find new builds for $500,000-600,000.
No, not unless you want to go really far west.
Yeah.
Well, not really far.
Do you like
But west.
Westminster?
Yeah.
Go out
Yep.
toward Gardner.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, there's some nice housing stock in Gardner now, too.
Yes.
Yeah. So there still are places where you could spend probably as little as $250, but getting down to 200 kind of narrows
Absolutely
it
is
down,
not
right?
going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
We really appreciate you coming on the show. We're just about out of time. I want to give out your contact info one more time. It's
Great.
Mary O'Hagan with Keller Williams in Bolton. You can reach her at 978-302-9640. Again, it's 978-302-9640. Sarah, thank you for joining us as well. Mary, we hope you'll come back soon.
I would love to.
Great.
This was fun.
Great. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back with more Get Real after this.